Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? When I was trying to get my podcast off the ground, I had a lot of questions like, how do I record an episode? How do I get my show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all the other places people like to listen to? And how do I make money from my podcast? The answer to every one of those questions is really simply Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. Best of all, guys, it is 100% free and it's ridiculously easy to use. And now Anchor can match you with great sponsors too, so you can get paid to do your podcast. I record my podcast, The Live Past Crazy Show, in my own time when I'm comfortable. I love that it's on my phone and it doesn't require a lot of extra equipment. So if you've always wanted to start a podcast, make money doing it, go to anchor.fm/start to join me and a diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. Again, that's anchor.fm/start, and I can't wait to hear your podcast. There. Good morning. Good morning. All right, so let's get right into, if this is your first time joining the Fearless Morning Show, welcome. I'm so glad that you are here. I invite you to learn more about me and why I am the only Live Past Crazy specialist, where I got that title from, and what I'm all about. You can go to livepastcrazy.com. That's that, of course, the www.livepastcrazy.com and read all about it. Or you can grab a copy of book 1, book or book 2, Fearless Woman Born to Give Thanks, or Transition to Freedom, and you can learn more about who I am and why I am the only Live Past Crazy specialist. Next Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I will be in Orangeburg, South Carolina at the Leadership Conference. I'm excited about that. That's why I'm only operating on 4 hours of sleep. I was up working. I was excited and couldn't stop. So I'm excited about that. Make sure you get your tickets for that, y'all, and I'll see you there. All right, let's go right into the quote of the day. It is by James Baldwin. Be careful what you set your heart upon, for it will surely be yours. I love that quote because what you think about is what you get. So a man thinketh, so is he. Whatever is in your heart and your mind is what will be yours. So on this wonderful Wednesday, be mindful of the things that you say. Be mindful of what you're saying to yourself, because you will get the desires of your heart one way or another. If you believe that you have nothing, your desire, that becomes your desire, then that's exactly what you will achieve. If you believe you have abundance, then that's exactly what you will achieve for today. So be careful with your words. All right, so let's get into the fearless thought of the day. The fearless thought of the day is getting paid. That is the fearless thought of the day. So I came up with, because we all want to get, paid in some, usually we think money. But I came up with some more acronyms for getting paid. And I talked about this in June of last year. And I thought I'd go over it again. And because getting paid is, it's essential to all of us. But in getting paid, you have to first make sure that you're able to do the work of getting paid. So getting paid stands for progression, advancement, it stands for progression, advancement, innovation, and development. Progression, advancement, innovation, and development. And since we know that we are a small business owner, right? I am a small business owner. This is Waddell Incorporated, and I have 8 departments that run effectively inside of me: mental, emotional, relationships, your financial, physical. Those are all the departments that run in the business of you. But in order to get paid, you've got to be making some progression, some advancement, innovating, and developing. Meaning, let's talk about the progression part. So in the progression part, I don't want you to get caught up in thinking that your growth has to be exponential, that it has to be something great. We are celebrating all small things, all small wins. When I was struggling, I celebrated the fact that, I made money that day, or I got up that day. We're celebrating all things. Progression is progression. If people are complaining about you're doing too much and the things that you are doing, your action is simply highlighting their inactivity. Your activity is highlighting their inactivity, meaning the things you're doing is highlighting what they're not doing. So because they don't know how to handle that, what they do is they tell you that you're doing too much. But we're going to celebrate all progression. Okay? You were not thinking like you were yesterday. You were not doing what you were doing yesterday. You have a different outlook today. We are celebrating all progression. So we're getting paid. First one is progression. We are moving forward. We are getting better. I'm not the same that I was yesterday. I am getting better. 2020, we're getting better, and we're not apologizing for it. The next one is advancement. As you're making, because listen, don't confuse progression and advancement, okay? Because you could be making progress and keeping your crazy together, or you could be making progress and advancing where you're going. That's what the ultimate goal is, that we want to advance where we're going. I mean, I want to get out of this situation. So that's why I'm taking these baby steps if I have to, or if I'm taking giant leaps. It is in the hopes that I am advancing past what I see right now and what I'm doing right now. And advancement for you and for me can be a thing that we're working towards. It can be an idea or a thought or something that we want to achieve. So our progression every day, we're working toward this advancement. We're working towards an end goal because our destiny is not changing. The third one is innovation. And this is where you have to be open to receive more, open to understand more. Because if you want to get paid, you're making progression and you're trying to make advancement. With the innovation comes with the understanding more. You've got to be open to learn something that you didn't know. You can't be a Miss Know-It-All. Because I am that. I'm a Miss Know-It-All. Like I know. And I knew at some point I couldn't be a Miss Know-It-All and want to progress and advance at the same time. At some point, you've got to open yourself up to understand more. You got to allow people to give you information that you do not have, who can help you advance more to where you want to go. So the innovation part is being open to understand more, being open to try something different. Because what was the quote the other day? Where some people hold on stubbornly to their hate because they know once they do, they will have to deal with the pain of their story. Some of us are not progressing, we're not advancing, we're not thinking outside of anything because we need to hold on to the story that we're telling ourselves of why we haven't made it yet. And it has to be an excuse. Some of us are addicted to our stories, and we're addicted to the outcome of our stories, and we're addicted to the results that we get by telling our stories. Meaning, if I can always tell you that I'm single, that I'm a single parent, I got these problems and I ain't got no money. As long as I can tell you that, then you're going to give me what I need. Okay? Some people are addicted to the results they get from telling their story. They like to tell their story so that, one, you may feel sorry for them. You may be like, oh my goodness, let me help. So some of us may not want to tell a different story because we're not going to get the results that we're used to. And because we don't know, we're not progressing, we're not advancing, and we're in the innovation part, we're not open to understand more. We don't change our story. We'd rather deal right here with the comfort of crazy than the discipline of freedom. We'd rather be like, well, I'm just going to keep telling the story because if I tell something else, people won't. Maybe they won't like me as much. Or maybe I won't. You've got to stop being addicted to your story and the results that you're getting. And the last one is development. So if you want to get paid, you got progression, advancement, innovation, and development. That simply means you've got to apply what you've learned. You made progress, you've advanced, you've opened yourself up to understand more. Now you've got to do the development. You've got to put that into the action phase. If you're not willing to go into the action phase, then I'm not sure what the reason was for you to go through all the work. Because there's got to be a development. There's got to be a development stage. Because if not, nothing's growing and nothing is being built. So if you want to get paid, and we all do, remember you're a small business owner, and this is how you're going to get paid in the small business of you. So you are a corporation, You may be a LLC, you may be a partnership, you may be a solopreneur, whatever entity you identify yourself like. White Oak Consulting Services is incorporated, okay? And all 8 of my departments, mental, physical, emotional, my relationships, my financial, and we need to stick religion in there just, for GP. Please go back and watch those shows. The Small Business of You, they were last Thursday and Friday's show, because it's in 2 parts. We did 4 sections. So if you're operating as a small business, you've got to get paid, okay? Pay for me stands for progression, advancement, innovation, and development. If you're not willing to do the work, you're not going to get paid. You're not going to see the result of being the small business of you. Someone else is going to operate you. Somebody's going to take over. Somebody's going to, it ain't even going to be a merger. They ain't even going to try to work with you. They're going to take over. You want to know how that happens? You wake up one day realizing that you're living everybody else's life other than your own. That's when you know that there's been a takeover. And now you're having to fight your way back to find out who you were in the beginning. That's why you got to have your policies and procedures in place. You got to have your workflow in place. You got to have your business plan of you in place so that you know how you operate. But if you're not taking time to figure out how you operate, you're not going to get paid. Because you can't get paid because none of your departments are working. So you have a lot of departments as a small business owner of you, okay? You are a small business owner. And your 8 departments are essential. Because if they don't all work together, and if they're not working fluently, you're not going to get paid. So getting paid is progression. We're celebrating all small wins, okay? You're thinking differently today than you did yesterday. A to the men. Let's be excited about it. Advancement. Once you are thinking differently, it is in the hopes that you are moving forward. And all of this goes back to the D in paid, which is development. All of this is in hopes that we're moving towards an action. Okay, so progression, advancement. I'm going to be in a different place than I was. That is what I'm working towards. I'm working towards an end goal. Innovation is you got to be open to understand more. You got to be open to receive more. What you thought has brought you this far, now you got to learn more to get even further. I am a nerd to my heart. I love learning. I love all knowledge. Most importantly, I love applied knowledge, meaning I want to take what I have learned and apply it. If I'm not going to do that, then I'm stuck right back in the progression stage. And in progression stage, you're also learning and never applying. So we want progression and advancement to go together. I'm learning. I'm not the same person I was yesterday. I'm moving forward. Innovation is I'm thinking differently. I'm opening to understand more. Because if you're not open to understand more, you're not going to get paid. And D is for development. That is our action phase of getting paid. You've got to do the work to get the result that you said you wanted. So we were progressing. We have advancement, we have innovation, and we have development, which is our action phase. So if you want to get paid in the small business of you, those are the things you're going to have to do. That's what paid means to me. Progression, advancement, innovation, and development. All of that equals action. All of that equals me wanting a different result. All of that means I'm on this journey and I'm working towards the end result. My destiny's not changing. This is not changing. So I'm willing to do the work. I'm willing to look at the 8 departments of me. Okay? I'm willing to do that. And I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make sure that I am an efficiently well-oiled machine. And sometimes we don't take responsibility enough for ourselves to know that. Take pride in yourself that you are a small business owner. Take pride in yourself that no one can operate JoJo like JoJo can. No one can tell me how I work better than I work. But if you haven't done the work to know what it is that you like and you don't like, if you don't know what you stand for, by the end of the day, somebody will tell you what you stand for. And it will be their vision. And they will get angry when you don't live up to what they have instilled in you. So if you want to get paid in the small business of you, paid stands for progression, Advancement, innovation, and development. Progression, you're not the same as you were yesterday. We're getting better every day. Advancement is I'm moving off of this point. I'm no longer stuck in crazy. I'm now transitioning into something different. So there is advancement. There's a movement of the needle. I'm not staying here saying I'm changing and I haven't changed. Remember, that goes back to that quote. You can say you're free, but until you take ownership of your freed self, you're not really free. Okay? So that's where your advancement comes in. Innovation is simply being open to understand more. And development is absolutely your action phase. You got to be willing to take the action. You got to be willing to do the work. There's no one better than you. There's no one smarter than you. They're just willing to do the work, perhaps, that you're not willing to do. Maybe you're stuck in the progression stage. Maybe you're stuck in that part where you're talking about it and not being about it. Maybe you're stuck in that phase. But if you are the small business owner of you, please make sure you go back and watch Thursday and Friday's show where I talked about you are a small business owner. So if I'm operating as a small business, I also want to get paid. Because there's a benefit in operating well. PAY stands for progression, advancement, innovation, and development. If you use that, please make sure you put my name on that, please. Because we all want to get paid. But if you're not willing, and I don't want you to confuse progression with advancement, okay? Because you can say that you're free, but until you take ownership of your freed self, you're not free. You can say you have a business, but until you're doing the work of a business, you're not. So progression is knowing that you're getting better. Advancement is seeing that you're getting better. It's knowing that you're moving at that needle. Innovation is thinking differently than what you are. Because where you are right now has got you where you are right now. And you need to think differently to get to another level. And your development is simply your action plan. And today, the fearless quote of the day comes from James Baldwin. Be careful what you set your heart upon, for it will surely be yours. If you are intent on being brokenhearted, broken spirit, afraid, scared, if that is set in your heart, it will give you the desires of your heart. If you're convinced you can never learn anything, you will get the desires of your heart. If you are confident that you are no one, you will get the desires of your heart. If no one can debate you that you're nobody, if no one can tell you otherwise that you're broke, if no one can tell you otherwise that you can't do something because you are convinced that you cannot do it, you will achieve that thing, my sister and my brother. You will achieve that thing that you said you can't do. Meaning you will stay there stuck in that system and that thought process until the day you die. And then you'll often ask yourself and wonder, why? Why was I afraid to do that thing? Why was I stuck in that waiting period? What was that? Why was I waiting for? What was I waiting for? Be careful what you set your heart upon, for it will surely be yours. So I want you to think about, and this is for me, is the thing that you're afraid of right now, are you willing to dedicate the rest of your life to being afraid to that thing? Is it going to be the governing body for the rest of your life? Is it going to keep you stuck in your limitations for the rest of your life? Are you going to allow your thought process of a preconceived idea that you've never even tested be the reason why you don't live your life? That's a good question. Are you going to allow your present fears, like, I want to own a bookstore. I don't know how to own a bookstore, but I'm going to figure it out, right? I want to have a birthday party. Never had a birthday party. I've talked about it 2 years in a row. It's already in the planning now. Are you going to allow the thing that you're afraid of to establish your life as such? Meaning, if I'm afraid to change, if I'm afraid to do anything new, is that going to be the basis for your life? From this day forward, are you committed to that? restructuring your life, not living to the fullest because of one thought that you've not yet put into action. Feel the fear and do it anyway. It's that red book right there. Feel the fear and do it anyway. It says 80% of the fear that we have is the fear of what could happen. It's not in doing the work. It's the thoughts that we have before we ever do the action of the thing. So in order to get over the fear, you've got to do the action. But that's a good question on today. And we're talking about getting paid in the small business of you. PAID stands for Progression, Advancement, Innovation, and Development. But are you going to allow yourself to allow your fear to predefine your life? And that's how we have generational habits continued. Not generational curses, generational behaviors and habits. Because y'all, and I talked about this for 2 years in a row, that I inherited the fear of water. I inherited the fear of flying. I inherited a lot of fears that were not mine, but because they were given to me, I assumed I had to carry them. And some of us are not questioning anything in our lives. And you look up and you're 45 and you're wondering, how the hell did you get here? Well, because you never questioned anything. You accepted someone else's life as your own. You are the small business owner of you. You've got to take ownership. And as Toni Morrison said, you can say you're free, but until you take ownership of your freed self, you're not free, my sister or my brother. Not here. You may be free to roam and go, but you're not free here, which is the ultimate freedom, without the restriction, right? So on this wonderful Wednesday, thank you so much for joining the Fearless Morning Show. If this is your first time, welcome to the Fearless Morning Show. You have arrived on your journey exactly you're supposed to. You couldn't have watched the show yesterday, the day before. You had to watch it today to get what you need. Don't apologize for wanting better, because that's not what we're doing. We are operating the small business of us, and we want to get paid for it. Progression, advancement, innovation, and development. Period. You don't confuse your progress with advancement, because your progress could be your thoughts are changing daily, right? But advancement is just seeing the movement of the thing. Now that you had the thought, now that you can repeat it, the quote or the affirmation or whatever it is, are we moving the needle forward? Innovation is simply thinking outside of the box, being open to understand more, and development is the action phase of being a small business owner. So I hope this has helped someone today, guys. If it has, please let me know so I don't think I'm sitting here talking to myself. And if you know someone who needs to hear about getting paid because they are the small business owner of themselves, please make sure you share this video with them. If they do not have Facebook, please send them over to the YouTube channel where they can binge watch all the Fearless Morning Shows over there. And I keep looking down, y'all, because I tried to get everyone to migrate to the Fearless Morning Show page, but you guys keep watching on my main page. So I'm trying to do both so that I can capture everyone, but I eventually want everyone to go over to the Fearless Morning Show page. So make sure you go over there and like it. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel if you've not done so. We do have a podcast. It is the Live Past Crazy Show. No, it's Living Past Crazy. There's a podcast everywhere where podcasts are found. That is your Apple, Spotify, and all those wonderful places. So check those out as well. Next week, I'm going to be in Orangeburg, South Carolina, the Leadership Conference. So if you want to see me there, please make sure you join me. I think I'm going to do the Fearless Morning Show live from there Thursday and Friday morning, and maybe the Saturday edition. So make sure you join me there. In April, I'm in Tampa at the Reset Conference. In May, I'm in Curacao, and I forgot where I am in August and September, but I'll be posting that so you can come along for the ride, or you can meet me there if you wish. All right, guys, I hope you have an amazing Wednesday. I want to go say Tuesday. I hope you have an amazing Wednesday. The quote of the day: be careful what you set your heart upon, for it will surely be yours. That's by James Baldwin. The quote of the thought of the day is, we all want to get paid, right? That is progression, advancement, innovation, and development. Development has got to be one of the biggest. You got to do the action of the thing, right? You got to, now that you're moving, you thought different, now that you're finally moving, you're open to understand more. We're in the action phase of it now. So let's take some action on this wonderful, absolutely wonderful Wednesday. Please be safe. Please be peaceful, period. There's nothing after that. Let's be peaceful, period. Please make sure you share the show. And I'll see you guys here bright and early tomorrow morning. Have a good one.